It's a rainy day in the neighborhood, a rainy day in the neighborhood. Would you be my neighbor? Oleksandr Usyk is back, the cream of the crop, the two-time undefeated, undisputed, unified heavyweight champion of the world, the owner of UK heavyweight boxing. He grabbed UK boxing by the ponytail and said, "Suck it." Oleksandr Usyk, the owner, the king, the ruler of the 7 kingdoms of UK boxing, after completely demolishing Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua twice, as well as Chisora, Tony Bellew. I mean, you know, Usyk is the owner of UK boxing for life. Well, the champ is back, and finally, he deserves it. He deserves it. He deserves it. He's finally getting a stay busy against, I don't got my smartphone, but I can't even pronounce the last name. Verhoeven. He's a kickboxer. You know what I mean? He's like, nobody knows who this guy is. He's never boxed before. You know what I mean? But it's okay. After you completely own UK boxing, you deserve a stay busy. When was the last time that Usyk got to stay busy? Maybe Chisora? That was like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You know what I mean? It's been Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, back to Daniel Dubois, back to Anthony Joshua, back to Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Damn, son. I mean, the only one he hasn't fought is DEONTAY Wilder. We might have to get that fight someday, somehow. But after all this ass whoopings across the entire cruiserweight and heavyweight division, because there's 2 divisions. And in the cruiserweight division, he was fighting the top dogs, the cream of the crop. He wasn't cherry picking postos and indangos like Terence Crawford's. You know what I mean? That whole 140 run, Terence Crawford's 140 run, that shit don't even count. Danny Garcia had a better run at 140. We ain't counting none of that. You know what I mean? Little pies, Eureka's Gamboas. You know what I mean? Not that he was a pie, but he was towards the end of his career. He was smaller, getting carried up. You know what I mean? And postos, and indangos, and the other Russian that dropped him, and all these unknowns. You know what I'm saying? You can't compare Terence Crawford's resume against Danny Garcia's at 140. We don't even count that. You know, because they love to say, oh, but Terence Crawford was also 2-time undisputed, undefeated. It's not the same, son. It's not the same. Oleksandr Usyk was going through the World Boxing Super Series, smashing everybody. But let's get back to Oleksandr Usyk. So, I believe it's this weekend or next weekend. I'm not sure, but, you know, I'm going to look it up. I think it's this weekend. I'm almost sure it is this weekend, right? Or maybe next weekend. I'm not sure, but, you know, it's one of those weekends. You know what I mean? Comment below. I didn't bring my smartphone, you know what I'm saying? So, he's about to go fight, have a stay busy against some unknown guy. He's a kickboxer. I don't know nothing about this guy. I didn't even look up this guy. You know what I mean? It don't really matter, though. You know what I mean? Anybody you put in there, cream of the crop, you know what I mean? World champion, undefeated, not undefeated. They're getting their ass whooped. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Kickboxer, boxer, big, tall, white, black. It don't really matter. You put him in there with the cream of the crop, Oleksandr Usyk, and they're getting their ass whooped. And that's exactly what's going to happen to this guy. Kickboxer, who knows what his record is, when he last fought, who cares? You know what I'm saying? The whole thing with this fight really is the location. You see, this is going to happen in Giza, Egypt, right in front of the pyramids. I don't know if it's going to be in a stadium. I don't know if it's going to be indoors. I think it should be outdoors. That's what I'm interested in. Is this going to be outdoors? Because that would be fire. That would be boxing history. That has never, ever, ever, ever happened before. A boxing match right in front of the pyramids with like the pyramids as a background with mad lights. That would be mad epic. You know what I'm saying? And I hope it is outdoors. I hope it is outdoors, right? But it might be, indoors. But it's going to happen in Egypt. And it's happening at Giza. Not Gaza. Don't worry about Gaza. It's happening at Giza, right? Giza is like the area of Egypt that has the pyramids. When I read that, I was like, whoa. That's going to be epic, right? So good luck to Oleksandr Usyk. Good luck to the opponent as well, you know what I mean? Hope we don't get hit completely fucking knocked the fuck out in like 2 rounds. I hope it's like exciting, you know what I'm saying? And, there's nothing else going on in boxing. And Oleksandr has nothing to prove, you know what I mean? He could have just retired after washing everybody, you know what I mean? But he wants to stay busy, you know what I mean? You got to keep the skills sharp. And the next fight might be, since Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua are planning to fight in December of this year, towards the end of the year, since Anthony Joshua already has a stay busy lined up, and I heard that Tyson Fury is lining up another stay busy as well in between that, and Deontay Wilder just fought. Maybe the next fight after this might be Usyk versus Wilder. Because it ain't going to be Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is just ducking for life. Let me not get started with the Anthony Joshua hate. But it's not going to be Anthony Joshua. And it's not going to be Tyson Fury. Because, they already went through their, their trilogy, right? And, it's not going to be... it's not going to be Daniel Dubois, because Wilder's not going to take that type of risk right now, right? I mean, but he would. He would. I wouldn't put it past him, though. If anybody takes the challenge of Daniel Dynamite Dubois, it would be Deontay Wilder. But I don't think that's going to happen. It's not going to be Wardley, right? We're talking about opponents for Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is like at a stage in his career where everything has to be paydays. They got to pay him. He'll take the challenge. He'll fight the Zhilei Zhangs. He'll fight the Joseph Parkers. You know what I mean? He's also at a level, he's at a level just like the Tyson Furies and the Anthony Joshua's and the Usyk. He's like in that bracket of the top 4, right? The top 4 names at least, right? But Deontay Wilder, carrying boxing on his back since 2015, he kind of walks in like a different type of way. Because Deontay Wilder takes bigger fights, better challenges, mostly. Well, he had that stay busy right before Chisora, you know what I mean? Because he got demolished by Zhilei Zhang. So that was understandable. But usually, when he's at the top, he fights the top. You know what I mean? He don't really take a step back. He don't get no, you know what I mean? No, like that Russian that, Tyson Fury just, schooled. He don't really do that. You know what I'm saying? But, Tyson Fury got demolished by Usyk in the fight before that. So we understand. The thing is here. Let's get this focused and finish off this video, right? The thing is here that there's really nobody else for Usyk to fight after the stay busy, because a stay busy is fine. He deserves it, right? But the next fight can't be another stay busy. It's gotta be like a B tier or A class. You know what I mean? You gotta fight like, at least like a Joy Joyce or something. He gotta fight like a Dave Allen or something. He gotta fight some type of name. You know what I mean? It don't gotta be the cream of the crop, because he already washed the cream of the crop. He already washed everybody at the top, right? But besides Deontay Wilder. That's what all this brings me back to. That the next fight for Oleksandr Usyk might very likely be Deontay Wilder. Because he's going to want, a challenge, and he's going to want more money. He only has maybe 1 or 2 fights left. And Usyk is not about protecting the O and all that nonsense. Usyk is about fighting the best. You know what I'm saying? Usually back-to-back. You get the little stay busy right now, but that's okay. But the point I'm trying to make is that his next fight will not be a stay busy. His next fight will be a payday. And his next fight will be a massive name. And there's nobody else besides Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is the only option out there for a massive payday, for a massive fight for Oleksandr Usyk. He's the only one that he hasn't fought. Who else? What are you going to put Usyk in there with Worley, who just got demolished by Deontay Dubois, who Usyk already beat twice? There is no other choice for Oleksandr Usyk but Deontay Wilder. And that's a pretty good fight. I like that fight. Not my favorite fight, but you know what I mean? You know I'm a Deontay Wilder fight, and I'm a Deontay Wilder fan, and you know, I don't see his odds being that great against Usyk. Not at this stage in his career. Maybe earlier, I would definitely be picking Deontay Wilder. Boom! To knock out Usyk, but if it was like 5-6 years ago. But right now, I mean, you know, Usyk is his style and his height, his style, his size, his height is closest to, if I'm thinking about opponents of Deontay Wilder, is closest to Joseph Parker. And Usyk is way better than Joseph Parker. So, and we saw what Joseph Parker did to Deontay Wilder just a couple years ago. So, you know what I mean? I would sadly have to keep it G. I ain't gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna root for my man Deontay Wilder. I'm gonna be picking my man Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? Like if I was to gamble, which I don't gamble, but I'm gonna be wanting Deontay Wilder to win against all odds. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's bomb squad for life. But when I make that video, the preview, the prediction for that video, you know what I mean? If the fight is signed, I'm always gonna say, like, you know what I mean? The odds are very, very heavily on the side of Oleksandr Usyk. Right now, he is the better fighter. He is the champion for a reason. He's undefeated for a reason. He's undisputed for a reason. And his resume is like way above Deontay Wilder's resume. You know what I'm saying? And Deontay Wilder, another thing that I said you could go back to that video against, you know, the review after he fought Chisora. You know, how I called them both kind of washed. And I said, there's something wrong here with Deontay Wilder. Not that there's something wrong, but it's clear that the speed is not there no more. The power is not there no more. And his power was a combination of speed and bam, crack. And that is not there no more because he was catching Chisora. And he didn't knock him out. He dropped him a couple times, but you know what I mean? That intimidating, massive, one-punch knockout power, I don't think it's there anymore. The legs are not as fast. The hand speed is not as fast. The reflexes. The man is like 40-something years old. So you put this, you know what I mean, lower tier Deontay Wilder, you know what I mean, against Oleksandr Usyk, who has not slowed up. And Oleksandr Usyk is about 40 as well. You gotta be like 39 at least, right? 38, 39. But Usyk has not slowed down at all. Usyk looks no different than he did when he fought, you know what I mean, Tony Bellew, like years ago. So, I don't see anybody beating Usyk right now. That's what, you know what I mean? But I want the fight. It's a big name, two big names. It's the only fight, the only name that he hasn't fought in the top bracket, right? It's a very interesting fight. You know, you got the slick boxer, the champion, and you got the, you know, you got the power puncher, which all the power's not there anymore, but some of it is still there. And you know, they look pretty good against Chisora. You know what I mean? I gotta be animated. You know, call them both washed. You know what I mean? Because Chisora's style makes everybody look kind of washed. Because he even looked. If you go back to Chisora versus Usyk, as a matter of fact, of heavyweights, of the heavyweights, he's fought like almost all the heavyweights, right? The one to look best against Usyk is Chisora. So that fight of Deontay Wilder versus Chisora looked the way it looked, washed. It looked that way because Chisora's style makes everybody look washed, makes everybody go through the gauntlet. You know what I'm saying? But that's my video. I'm always looking forward to an Usyk fight. I hope it's outdoors. That would be epic with the Giza pyramids behind them, with mad lights and neons. That shit would look real dope. You know what I'm saying? So good luck to Usyk. Good luck to the opponent. I hope that Deontay Wilder gets the next opportunity against Usyk. And if he doesn't, he gotta get another stay busy. You know what I mean? He gotta stay busy. The thing with Deontay Wilder is he gotta stay busy, especially now. If you're gonna stay in the game, you gotta stay busy. Otherwise, you need to get out. Because if you're like 42, he's like 42 years old. If you're like 41, 42 years old, and you think that you're just gonna fight once a year for a payday, you're gonna catch another Zhilei Zhang ass whooping. You're gonna catch another surprise ass. There's no way that Zhilei Zhang should have ever been Deontay Wilder, but he was, you know what I mean, not focused and gotten old. So if you're gonna stay in the game, Deontay Wilder, you better stay busy. Whether it's against Usyk or stay busies, go grab yourself 2-3 stay busies a year. You know what I mean? Against knock out a couple pots for our entertainment. You know what I'm saying? But you need to stay busy, because if you don't, your reflexes and power and speed that have already diminished are just gonna diminish even further. And then eventually you're gonna get the Anthony Joshua fight, and it's not gonna look pretty. You know what I mean? And we need that Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua fight, which might never happen, because Anthony Joshua milking the cow, ducking for life. You know what I'm saying? So we also heard about that Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Who knows really if that happens? Bruh, Anthony Joshua's just a problem, son. He's just a problem. You know what I mean? But that's a whole other video. Good luck to Usyk. Good luck to Deontay Wilder. Good luck to opponent of Usyk. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Usyk. Usyk stays busy. You know what I mean? He stays busy, giving you big fights, big locations. You know what I mean? It's just that he don't speak English. If he spoke English, if he was American or even British, you know what I mean? But he spoke good English, boy, he would be like a way, way bigger name. You know what I mean? But those that know their boxing, real boxing fans know that pound for pound, not even right now, he's been. Oleksandr Usyk has been #1 pound for pound for like years already. You know what I mean? No, Terrence Crawford does not compare. Please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, share. Thanks.